What's going on, guys? Here it is, the install video on the Sim Cab F150. Just a nice truck, not a 5.0 or anything like that. It's just the V6 version of it for the customer's daughter, and they want to put some audio in it. So if you remember, we built on the last video, we built the sub box that will fit behind the seat, hopefully. Haven't tested it yet. The truck just got here. If you haven't seen that, go peep into the last video. I know the videos are kind of long. The way I kind of look at it, I don't want to make them all that long, but if they end up being that long, I try not to let them get any more than 30 minutes. That's a normal TV show, and not that I want my stuff to be a TV show, but that's going to kind of be the length that I'm not wanting to go over. Anything under is a bonus, but I want to be informational to you guys about everything I'm doing, so you guys can don't be afraid to do it yourself. Or if you're paying somebody, you kind of have an idea in your head of what they're doing. But has dropped the truck off, and all of the other components that we'll be installing. Yeah, I'm gonna flip the camera around here and let's show you what we'll be doing today. Okay, there's the sub in the box that we built in the last video. And first up we have excuse me, we have some kicker, looks like CSS 6.5 or 6.5, which means 6.5. It's a 6.5 component speaker with tweeter and crossover. These are going to go in the door on this F150. There's only speakers in the door and in the pillar. There's a 5x7 in the door and a 1-inch tweeter in the speaker. So in order to do 6.5s, even if you did 5x7s, you went back with that, you have to have these adapters. Even if you went with the factory size speaker, you still need the adapter, or you need to modify your other speaker. We'll talk about that when I can show you what comes out of the truck. But yes, so here's the adapters to run to the 6.5s. That part number is 825607 from Metra. We have a 4-channel amp that's going to run these in the doors. We're only going to be using 2 of the 4 channels because we only have 2 speakers going into it. The part number is CXA 360.4. It's a 350 watt RMS amp. Nothing too crazy, just more than factory, of course. And it'll make these, it'll pair very well with these. With that, we have the adapter harnesses for them, so we don't have to cut any of the factory forward harness. And that part number is 725602. And yes, I gave a list of everything to the customer, of things he could use, things he needed, and routes that he could go, and I let him decide. This is all stuff that he picked. I just told him, like, hey, if you don't want to cut the factory harness, we'll need these. Hey, no matter what speaker you decide to run, you'll need the adapter for those. You'll need amp kits and an LC2. Everything else is on you. But the amp kits he went with are very, very, very nice amp kits. He splurged on these for sure. It's the Kicker 1500 watt 4 gauge amp kit. So it'll come with your RCAs, your fuse block, your power and ground wire, and then a remote wire. That's probably about it. That looks like it's it. Yep. Well, it does come with a little bit of speaker wire, but honestly, we probably won't use that speaker wire. I still haven't wired the box yet because, like I said, I needed to know where I'm placing the amp to know how long to make the wire. And I have my own wire, it's thicker gauge for speaker wire. Again, there's in case anybody wants these, there's CK4s, the kicker part number for those. There's those Metro adapters, LC2. It's LC2i Pro. This allows you to run a factory radio with running an amp. They have LC4s, LC6s, LC8s, just depends on the output channels. We only needed a 2 because we're only running a sub and a set of door speakers. So we have bass output and then main output. So the door speakers, the door speaker amp will run off this. The sub amp will run off these as far as the audio cables go, or the jacks, audio jacks. On this side, you got speaker inputs. So you're going to put right and left speaker inputs. And you also need antenna or 12 volts ground, and then remote in and remote out. You do not have to run this with a remote in. I know on some of these newer vehicles, it's hard to find a accessory that gives you 12 volts with key on, but not with key off. It'll still it'll go away. Those are hard to find. With these, you can switch this to audio on the trigger mode right here, and anytime this picks up audio signal coming from the factory speaker wire that you go into the speaker inputs here, it will kick on, which will then kick your amp on. So there'll be a small delay, but you don't have to run remote wires. On some vehicles you have no problem finding remote wires, but on others it is very hard, so this mitigates that. Also, this acts as a filter to filter out all the trash, if you will, out from the factory radio, and cleans all that up, makes it sound way better. Also gives you a clean audio jack output for your subs to make those sound way better. Here's the amp we're using. It is a RP1200-1D, means it's a monoblock, one channel, 1200 watts. It says 1200 RMS. I have no way to test that. It might be, but again, the amp is used with the sub. This is the first time me seeing it. So first off, what I need to do is find locations for the main components, which is the amps and the LC2. Kind of show you with what I'm working with on the truck. Single cab, so behind the seat, you can see that's where she sits. So I probably had a little bit more room than I thought, but the dad drove it over here when I did the measurement, so the seat was all the way back because he's about my height, 6'2" So that's the side the speaker's going on. There was foam here, our insulation here. I removed that insulation because if you can see, let me go to the other side real quick. So if you can see, there's a big difference in room from the back wall to the where the sound deadening is. That's just, we're not going any higher than that right there, but more than likely more of this sound deadening where the speaker box is going to go is going to get removed. What I'll end up doing, oops, sorry for the fingers in front of the camera. Like I said, most of this is going to get removed, just where the box is going to go. And then what I'll do is I'll put sound deadening behind to mitigate any of the noise that was created by removing the factory sound deadening. You know, I'll put the single side stick on it. You have the factory floor jack over there, so that's why we can't go any further that way, because there's a floor jack. I'm hoping the box will stop about halfway this area somewhere, and maybe I can make a amp panel for that side over there to mount all the amps. If not, then they're going to go underneath the seats. I will remove the seats, and it'll probably be like, you know, amp under one, amp on the other, and an LC2 with the smaller of the 2 amps. That's about it. So I'm going to get started, and then I will walk you guys through, you know, what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But now you have the rundown. There's the stuff. Let's get to the install. All right. Sorry if there's a loud fan in the background. It's hot in Texas. I'm ready sweating my butt off. And it is only 11:08. But as you can see, took out the seats in the center console. The box fit very tight. It fit, but I need a way to secure the box. So I'm going to nutsert the back the back wall of the cabin, and then bolt from the inside the box to those nutserts. I can't get a drill or anything in there to do that with the seats in. Also, it's a single cab truck, so to get the stuff out of your way to make it easier on you, it's not hard. In this particular truck, it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a connector. One bulkhead connector for the airbags pulls the seat out. Easy way to do it is move the seat as far back as it can go, get your front bolts, move it as far forward as it can go, get your back bolts, tilt the seat all the way back, unplug the connector, and it'll stay in a little confined, tight shape like this one is, where you can see the back bolts directly. As far as the center console goes, you got 2 connectors here. You got 3 bolts on this side. They're all 13s, just like the seat, all 13 millimeter. You got 1, 2, 3. On the other side, you have, this has to get pulled back because of the center seat belt bolts behind this panel, right behind here. So you have to pull this Torx bit out, and then you have 2 13s on this side, one here and one there. You get all that out on each side. That seat's exactly the same as this seat, 4 13s, 1 connector, and then you have an open truck. Kind of dirty, not that big of a deal, it's very common. The truck itself is fairly clean truck, but this is the stuff that falls in the cracks of the seat that you guys think to yourselves, oh, it's not that bad, it's only one piece. Well, that one piece piles up to this. So I will clean all this out, just because I don't believe in giving a customer back a dirty vehicle after I've walked in it and crawled around in it for hours. So yep, as you can see, I cut out the rest of that piece. It's not noticeable from the front. You see there's a gap here. When I push the box back, it will stay, it does go back, but eventually it works itself forward. I don't want that. I need it to stay back to give me as much room as possible for that speaker. This is what happens when you try to fit way too big of a speaker in a vehicle. You have to get creative. So the sub will come out. I will drill a hole through the box, through the back wall, to put a nutsert in. That'll give me my alignment, so I know it's exactly where I want it. And outside of that, that's it. That's where we're at right now. I'm trying to get the box mounted, because that's really going to be kind of the hardest part, to be honest. The rest of it's just running wires, pulling door panels, installing speakers, running wires for amps, figuring out where the amps are going to install. That stuff's kind of more easy. In this scenario, usually throwing the box in isn't the hard part, but like I said, we're trying to fit a huge sub in a very small area. Okay, a couple things. Door panels off, factory speakers out. Also, you can see the nutsert there, over there, and right there. So the box bolts in. Keeps it really secure. I can show that after I just pulled it out. So just to get out of my way for now, don't need it in here at the moment, so I'm just moving it out the way. I did a little bit of vacuuming just because there was some metal shavings and sawdust from me setting the box in here, lining it up, poking through both to get my holes lined up perfectly. This door panel, let's walk you through real quick. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 screws. They're all 7 millimeters. You have this panel here. I've kind of prepped these panels a little bit, but that just snaps off. 4 snaps, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a 7 right here. You have a panel right here. This is a 23 F150, by the way. And like I said, I've kind of prepped these panels. This one also just snaps off. Your fingers behind there. 1, 2, and then it has, like, you know, lift snaps on the bottom. You see there's 2 more 7s there and there. There's also a 7 there, a 7 there on the bottom of the door, and then this little reflector comes out, and there's a 7 right there. Let me remove those real quick. Okay, after you have all those out, that's 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, not 7. After you get all those out, you're gonna pull firmly from the bottom here. I'm gonna try to set the phone up. There we go. Okay, you're just going to grab these like this and pull firm. It'll unsnap all the quick snaps on the bottom. You're just going to work it up and around, and then the door panel will come off. So, and behind the door panel, we have some connectors. Try to get this for you guys. You have a connector right here. All these connectors are just like a push pin style. You just push down right here to undo it. Another one right here. There's the push pin, there it is. This is your door lat or door nut handle. So just realized that apparently I hit the stop recording button in the process of showing you. But so you got one connector, two connector, door handle, interior door handle, and lock. That's what comes off the door panel. I just talked about all of this, but I didn't realize I wasn't recording. But so the factory speaker is pretty close to a 6x9. As you can see, the speaker is built into this bracket, if you will. You need this bracket so it spaces the magnet away from the window as it comes up and down. If you wanted to run another 6x9, you could hollow all of this out, cut all of the speaker material out, leave this, install your new 6x9 into this adapter piece, solder the wires to these solder plates, and then you could use the factory connector and have an aftermarket 6x9, but it looks clean in factory if you wanted to go that route. We decided to go 6.5 round component set, so 6.5 round with a 1-inch tweeter. The component set from Kicker comes with adapters for to mount the tweeters in different locations, the crossovers, and the speaker. Metra is this dash kit, which, as you can tell, has the same exact mounting locations as the factory one, minus the plug. And this will mount in place of the factory stuff. We have the Metra 725602s, which is the factory end on one end, and then connectors on the other to mount to the speaker. So we could use the factory plug with an aftermarket speaker. But outside of that, that's it. I have both door panels off, so I'm going to get those wired up, put together, and installed. I'll run them to the factory harness because the factory harness comes through the door jamb here and into here. I will tap into them in here. I will tap into the wires right here and take 2 to the amp that come from the speaker and the 2 that come from the truck to the LC2. So it gets a signal to turn everything on and gives us our audio jack signal, and then so the speakers are getting wired directly to the amp, not through the truck. Okie dokie, speakers are done. So that one's installed over there. This one's installed over here. So there's the mount, speaker mounted in. All this wiring that's zip tied in is extra you could cut away, but I like to leave length here because if someone ever comes in to pull the door panel, pulls this off up here where the other tweeter is mounted, they can unplug it from, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little plug-ins right here, like little spade style connectors almost, like bullets, and they can remove this piece with it, and there's enough slack in here that they can get out of their way meanwhile so they can get the door panel off, because this has to come off, then the door panel comes off. So I try to leave slack in there for that reason. There's the crossover, tweeter's mounted up there, and door speaker right here. So in order to get the signal from this door speaker to the amplifier, that's probably going to be back there. I think I'm about making a board that sits behind the jacks, and the amps will mount there. So the wires that I plugged into the factory harness. There's the factory plug right here. So if this ever came out, that could be undone. You just have to replace this panel here because there would be a hole there for this tweeter. But we're going to pull up this trim piece right here, the kick panel, and find the speaker wires that are in the loom that's on there here, and there's another loom that runs right there. We'll find the speaker wires that go to this door. We'll cut them in half. The ones coming from the speaker will go to the new amp. The ones coming from the truck will go to the LC2. That'll give us our signal wire for the subs and the amps to turn on, and that will give us our speaker wire from here to the amps without having to run new wire through this loom all the way up into the door, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So that's what I got to do next. Alright, so here it is, all done. We have 4-channel amp, CL2, or LC2, I'm sorry, and then the monoblock star amp. Subs mounted, speakers are in. It's been tested and tuned because once the seats go back in, you can get to those, but it'll be a little bit harder. I put all the tuning frequencies on the outside, so that one's on the other side and this one's on this side. So it can be adjusted, and you could possibly reach that from behind the center console, maybe, but that shouldn't have to be adjusted at all. That's basically just filters. Those, I already set those, they're kind of stay set. The only thing that's not ran, because I didn't get one, is a bass knob that would usually go from the amp. I would usually run it down to here, up the pillar here where you see the other wires, and then up into here somewhere out of the way, usually in that little cubby right there. They mount it to the side of the cubby so it's out of the way but easily accessible, but I didn't get one, so this is what it is. You can see a speaker. I think we went over this before, but wiring with the crossover. This wiring's all zip tied up and ran together, other than the big bundles of auxiliary cables on each amp, but I can't do much about it with the full length audio jacks that I was given. Personally, I would just replace those with like some 5-footers or 4-footers. Wouldn't need much more than that anyway, but that's it. I'm gonna get it all back together now, and then we'll do a final closeout. Alrighty, filming this for the 3rd time. All done. You see door panels are on, seats are all in, center console's in, this door panel's on. See the tweeters in the speaker, or in the upper grill piece. They're kind of, because of the angle of this, they kind of face this one kind of faces the driver, and that one kind of faces the passenger on the driver's side. You see the amp, the sub boxes back there. Made the money though. I mean, look all the change I found. Pretty good amount, really. Weirdly, it was found underneath the kick panel on the driver's side. I don't know how all that change got in there, but let's move the seat forward. Let me get the flashlight out of the pocket. If that's where I put it. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. You can see the sub box. There's the kicker amp, the LC7, and then it's gonna be hard to see it, but way back in there is the Scar audio amp for the sub. They're all kind of mounted back there out of the way. I would like to loom up with like wire loom on all those wires, but I don't have any. I looked because I thought I did, but I can't find it if I did. I'll probably find it later when I don't need it. It's usually how that works. But, you know, big toolbox problems. Kind of part of being a 15-year mechanic, I guess. But, put the seat back. So it's all together, all done, tuned up, as good as it can be. And I was trying to figure out how to do a sound clip for you guys. Not that the sound would be good anyway, because it's coming through a phone. But what I'm thinking about doing is, I don't want to get a strike on the account. And I'm not monetized to get demonetized for copyright, but I will get a strike on the account, which also hurts you getting monetized, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm probably going to do is make a video on my TikTok and post it to there, and I will put a link to my TikTok in the description below. If I can't figure out how to do that, you can just look up Jeremy Fish. I think the TikTok like picture is my logo, and it says like Fish Studio or Fish Built. I don't remember. But I should figure out how to put a link on the bottom of this video. It shouldn't be that hard. And then, like I said, the audio won't be the greatest because it's through a phone, but you'll see the sub flex, and it does that pretty well. It's got about 3 inches of room to flex, and with the amp turned all the way down, it does that. I say all the way down, you know, like a quarter. It's like a quarter of the way up or something. It could go up more, but then I'm afraid the speaker will start slapping the console, because you can see it's, let me turn my light on. It's pretty close. It's about 3 inches. So I don't want it to be my fault if the sub breaks itself over time from it beating the back of the seat. So I will let the customer know where the amp's at. They didn't want a lot of bass anyway, and it's still quite a bit of bass. So they might be fine with it right there, but just so they know where they're at. So if they do want it louder, they can, and it's on them if it, you know, hurts the voice coil over time. It won't be on me. But yeah, guys, that's it. All put back together, all done. It's been set up and tuned already. I just gotta make a video for TikTok. I need to borrow another device to do that so I can record it and listen to music at the same time. Just use like the wife's phone or something. But yeah, that's it. I really do appreciate you guys watching. I think the last video is like at 150 views already now, and that's awesome. I'm super grateful for every one of you guys that watch. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot them down in the comments. I will check those. And if you like the video, hit the like. If I've earned your like, hit it. And subscribe. That'd be awesome. There will be a lot more videos like this coming up, even videos of, like, I have a jersey case I need to build, so I'll probably video that. It's not a hard build, but maybe some of you guys want to build a jersey case instead of buying one that's going to fall apart. I build them for a golf tournament that's coming up. I donate it to it. It's for extremely good cause. I'm trying to think of what else I have coming up. I don't really remember. I have a list somewhere. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys have anything you want to see in particular, if I can get my hands on it, we'll do it. But that's it, guys. Enough rambling. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you have any questions, comment. Till the next time, I'm out.